answer, but it was like, I can't go sing it again, so I already did it.
Let me ask you something
Yeah.
that I learned about maybe a year and a half ago. I was surprised. You ate meat and you grab a cheesecake maybe an hour later. You make the blessing. And then you remember you had meat. Do you gonna eat it or not?
Ooh. You're supposed to wait. After you have meat, some people it's 4 hours, some people 6 hours.
6 hours.
Some-
Normally,
really is
normally
different.
chicken is 4, meat is 6. Normally, but normally a lot of people go by 6 hours. So
And
the
plus,
point to
that
that
way you
is,
say the prayer. you're
Right,
supposed
if you
to
say
do
blessing, you
action.
should
On
do
the Rambam.
what you.
Yeah,
if you blessed on it, you're not allowed to have a blessing to Allah. So
Right.
what you do, like a zayit, you have a little bit just for the blessing. You're allowed.
But the zayit counts for the blessing.
They count it, yeah? Because you're already blessed.
There you go. Your Jewish pop quiz for the day. It's a good
it's an interesting.
thought experiment.
I
And you
would
know-
love to sit down with Yessi and hear what he has.
I tell you what, we sitting with the Rabbi of Chabad, and after the prayer, okay, we were talking about that subject. And 2 days before that, I heard that.
Wow.
He say, you don't. And then we open the Rambam and say yes.
I love it. Those coincidences. Let's start with Hine Mato, which can be found in your red folder on page 6.
Wonderful.
I don't know if this particular version's in there. This is a Hebrew and English version. It's not. And then we have Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. There's an English section that I will kind of let you know it's time to repeat. So if you're not familiar with this version, hopefully by the end you will be. Hine Mato, page 6. Hine Mato Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Try that. Hine Mato Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Mato Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is.
Fine.
How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is to be together on this day. Same thing. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it
How
is
sweet it is.
to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum again. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. That's the whole song. So let's try it again. Feel free to join when you know it. Join when you don't know it. Make noise together. How good and pleasant it is for us to be dwelling together in unity. Hine Mato Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Mato Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. There are so many versions of that song, another one to add to the repertoire, and hopefully we'll be singing it together on another service in the future. Welcome. I'm so glad to see all of you here, and welcome to everyone who's watching online. It's been some time since we've met together in the sanctuary, maybe some time since some of us have even been together. Welcome back from some warmer weather. as you may know, I'm Lee Crow. I'm your ritual leader, Shlichat Tzibur, and I'm so honored to continue in this role as we are seeking our rabbi. We've had some whispers, we've had some thoughts, we've had some seekings, and as that comes to fruition, hopefully in the future, I'm still here and really excited to fulfill this role with all of you. If we could go around and just say our names. Everyone here is part of our congregation, no visitors or anyone who's brand new, but you might be new to each other, maybe starting over here.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Aviad Avi Fuchs, born and raised in Israel, moved to over there a year and a half ago. Glad to be here tonight.
Hi, everybody, this is Linda, and I'm glad to see everybody here.
Hi, my name is Ilan, I'm from Israel, I'm over here in Eau Claire, how many years? 8 years, 9 years, 7 years?
Becky Pierce. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, that's
Oh,
it,
go ahead.
I'm done.
I'm Becky Pierce. I've been in Eau Claire for 22 years now. And going back to California next year.
Matt Miller, I've been here about 5 years.
Rory Pasternak here since '95.
Shelley Fredson, also here since '95, I think.
I'm Gavin Forecash. I've been here since 2019, I think, in Eau Claire.
I'm Tuna, and I've been here for the past 10 or so years.
I have a forecast from my family in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Are you related?
Maybe there's not a lot of you'll find it's like Stone Farkas sometimes.
Yeah?
What's her name?
Marcus. I'll think of it in a minute. I'll find it on. I'm blanking.
It's a Hungarian
Hungarian,
Austrian
right? I've got Farkas in my family too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You see it's called Farkas and you see it everywhere.
Had a few at summer camp for sure. That Jewish geography happens even when we're doing introductions, especially when we're doing introductions. And we'll take that connectivity together and move into our candle lighting. The blessing can be found on page 14. I invite Becky up to do our reading in English and our candle
Do you have
lighting.
a book for me or should I bring my book?
It's just a printed, you don't need your book.
Well, by heart.
But actually, we might have matches. I think our matches are. Oh, there's one.
Can't light fire.
I'm like it. I'm like it.
No, that's an evil.
You want me to go first, or do you want to?
I'll light one.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the many generations of Jews who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. We begin Kabbalat Shabbat with a song traditionally sung at the Shabbat table, Shalom Aleichem, which I believe is also in the red folder on page 11. Yes, page 11. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, We continue with the reading not found in your Siddur. I'll have Gavin come up for this. The reading about Shabbat.
What page?
It's not in the Siddur.
No?
There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a hoard of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand and wonder before the mysteries of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world, our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, and day of peace. Rabbi Harvey Fields.
In Kabbalat Shabbat, we move through the Psalms. In our minhag, in this tradition in the congregation, we take a selection of them. There are so many to choose from, whether melody or reading, and sometimes I fall into doing the same ones and they speak to me, and other times pick one we haven't done in a while. For the sake of not introducing too much new in one service, we find ourselves with Psalm 95. I'll just do a chatima, a little intro, and go straight into Psalm 96. So we're on page 147. You can wait for me there. L'Ramana l'Adonai Nariya Litzur Hishenu Shiru l'Adonai Shir Chadash Shiru l'Adonai Kol Haaretz. Top of 147. Shiru l'Adonai Baruch Hu Shemo Basru miyom le'om Yeshuato Shiru l'Adonai Shir Chadash Shiru l'Adonai Kol Haaretz Shiru l'Adonai Baruch Hu Shemo Basru miyom le'om Yeshuato. Do you have a reader for Psalm 98 on page 149? You're welcome to do it from your seat or come up in the English.
I'll do it from here.
Yep.
A song. Sing a new song to Adonai. For Adonai has done amazing things. We have been rescued by Adonai's strong holy arm. Adonai's salvation is known to all. God's righteousness has been revealed to all peoples. They remember the loving kindness shown by God to the people of Israel. Every corner of the earth is aware that Adonai is the God of our salvation. Shout God's praise, all the earth. Break out in joyous song. Play to Adonai on the harp, with the harp and voices of song. With trumpets and shofars, shout out the praises of our God and ruler. Let the sea roar and all that it contains, the world and all its inhabitants. Let the waves of the ocean clap hands. Let the mountains sing in harmony. They sing for Adonai who comes to judge the earth. Adonai will judge the world with justice and all nations with fairness.
Closing out our Psalms, we'll conclude with the bottom of page 150, Roman move, Psalm 99. Exalt Adonai our God, bow at God's holy mountain, for Adonai our God is holy. Romenu Adonai Eloheinu vehishachavu lehar kocho. Romenu Adonai Eloheinu vehishachavu lehar kocho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romenu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romenu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishachavu Lehar Kocho Romenu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishachavu Lehar Kocho. We are ready, we are warmed up, we are concluding Kabbalat with welcoming the Shabbat bride and the Chado D on page 152. Together we will do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. For ease, that's the first two, then the last one on that page, 152. And then it's the final verse found on page 153, rising to greet the Shabbat bride. As the choreography goes, we welcome her into our midst during the last verse. La 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 we will move into the Shema and her blessings, beginning with Baruch Hu on page 157. Allow me one moment. I'm getting over an illness, stretching my voice a little bit, but we'll make it through.
You are.
Our call to worship, our Baruch Hu, begins on page 157. Please rise. Yai the lai 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 lai. Yai the lai 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 lai. Yai the lai 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 lai. Yai the lai 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 lai. Yai the lai 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 lai. Yai the lai 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 lai. Yai the lai 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 lai. Yai the lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. We continue in the Hebrew on the same page. Ma'ariv Arvim Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bibaro Ma'ariv Arvim B'chokhmah Poteach She'arim U'bitmuna Mishana Itim U'machalif Et HaAzmanim U'mesader Et HaChochavim B'mishratehem Ve'al Kirsono Orei Yom V'layla Golel Or Mipnei Choshech V'choshech Mipnei Or U'mahavir Yom U'mevi Layla U'mavdil Bein Yom U'bein Layla Adonai Tzvot Shemu Elachai V'kayam Tamim Lo Chaleinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Hamari Baravim. On the next page, together, you love your people Israel with an eternal love, giving us Torah and mitzvot, teaching us a way to live. Therefore, Adonai, our God, we will meditate on your instructions when we lie down and when we rise up. We will rejoice in the words of your Torah and your commandments forever and ever. For they are our lives, they give value to our days, and we will be engaged with them day and night. Through them, we always have access to your love. Blessed are you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Ve'avacha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohei Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You may be seated if it's your custom as we continue together chanting the Ve'ahavta on page 159 and finishing on page 161 with the final paragraph, Lama'an Tizkeru. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha ve'hayu Hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'divarta b'ham v'shitecha b'veitecha ולכתך בדרך, ושוכבך וקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. I have a printout that I keep in my prayer book from a different siddur of a Hasidic teaching of Martin Buber that I like to reflect on before Michamocha. For the sake of giving my voice a moment, I would like to hand this off to anyone who is willing to read in English, either at your seat, I can come meet you, or up here.
Sure.
Yep. This is just the whole thing in Milford County.
There are hours, days, longer sometimes, when the soul hovers over a frail trapdoor that we fear will open. We will fall into the narrow straits of our own slavery, our own Mitzrayim. We even live in an astonishment that it has not yet opened. We cling to hope, to vision, squinting to see the other side of a rough sea. Suddenly, we feel the touch of the hand. It reaches down to us. It wishes to be grasped. We are surprised at the courage it takes to reach for the hand. We let it draw us up out of the darkness. We stand safely on an opposite shore. We know redemption.
The Michamocha feels so prominent at this time when we're moving from Passover to Shavuot, when our own Exodus feels close at hand, having learned and recited and retold the story. So I encourage you with that spirit of strength to sing along with Michamocha at the bottom of page 162 and then continuing at the top of page 163. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, noratehi lo sefele, noratehi lo sefele. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, noratehi lo sefele. Noratehi lo sefele. Malechutecha ra'u banecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'elianu ve'ameru, ze'elianu ve'amru. Adonai lo le'olam ba'ad. Adonai lo le'olam ba'ad. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Hashkivenu, a blessing recited before we go to sleep. In the English on page 163, we have a reader. Begins, may you Adonai help us sleep in peace. From you, please, yes.
May you, Adonai, help us sleep in peace, and may you afterwards restore us to life. May you spread over us your sukkah of peace, and may your guidance enable us to grow. May you save us, because that is your essence. May you protect us and banish from us all enemies, plague, sword, hunger, and pain. May you remove all evil spirits from our path. May you protect us under the shadow of your wings. For you, Adonai, you watch over us and protect us. And you are a ruler who provides grace and mercy. May you guard our comings and goings for life and for peace now and forever.
May you spread over us your sukkah of shalom. Blessed are you, Adonai, who spreads your sukkah of peace over us, over your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. The Shema and her blessings moves into the Amidah. Before concluding, we will end with V'shamaru at the top of page 165, and then immediately rise for Amidah. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם גיא ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. Please rise for Amidah, page 166. Adonai sefatai tiftach upi agite ilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach upi agite ilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasevot B'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei B'neihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומקים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי כל חי אתה רב להושיע, מוריד חתל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, בחיי כל חי ברחמים רבים, סומך נוכלים ורובך חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ברית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות כל חי, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי כל חי. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהלוך סלה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. You continue silently at your own pace for the prayers in our Siddur, for the prayers in your heart. Through page 174, when you've completed, you may be seated. Oseh shalom v'morma. Huya aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al Israel. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. V'imru. Shabbat shalom. This week's Torah portion and more in the book of Leviticus contains a chapter where God speaks to Moses and instructs him to tell the Israelites the details of Mikra Kodesh, sacred occasions. It begins with the mitzvah of keeping Shabbat as the day of complete rest at the end of each week. Next, it details the Passover offering and to only eat unleavened bread during the week that follows. As you may know, we last gathered as a congregation for our Seder on the second night of Passover. Our parsha uses that night as a benchmark to establish a new mitzvah for the Israelites to take on once they enter the promised land. We were talking before services, so I know some of you will be able to answer this quickly, but I wanted to pause and ask, does anyone know what this mitzvah is? Oh, I like the shaking of the head. Good. I got some new information for some of you. Anyone?
The what?
What do we start on the second night of Passover?
Set the Omer.
Counting the Omer. For those unfamiliar, counting the Omer looks like, in the modern age, saying a blessing, which we will do together at the end of our service, and then counting out loud how many days we have now counted. It's counting upwards. There's also the mitzvah of offering the harvest first fruits. And in the case you're wondering what the first fruits are, it's the harvest season for barley. But the other part of the mitzvah, which I'll focus on tonight, Sefirat HaOmer, counting the Omer, is the start of the 7 weeks between Passover and Shavuot. On Passover, we recall our ancestors fleeing slavery in Egypt, and for 49 days we continue counting. We count until we reach Shavuot, the day after we've counted 49 days, when those same ancestors then stood at the base of Mount Sinai, where Moses went up and received the Torah. It's an interesting distinction that when we count the Omer, we aren't counting down the days to Shavuot. I'm sure like many of you, I have kept track of how many days are left until a vacation, graduation, birthday, holiday, or any other significant event. We don't have to do anything. The passage of time alone allows us to reach an awaited occasion. In some ways, I see counting the Omer is the opposite. We are instructed to increase our count until we reach the completion of 7 weeks. Our sages teach that by counting up rather than down, we must elevate ourselves towards greater holiness in preparation for receiving the Torah on Shavuot. Merely counting away the days is not enough. We are encouraged to find ways to be more worthy of our spiritual inheritance, our Torah. A prescribed 7 weeks of self-improvement, if you will. This time of counting the Omer is observed as a period of semi-mourning. In many observant communities, there are elements of mourning woven into these 7 weeks, such as not having weddings, the prohibition of cutting one's hair or shaving, and avoiding celebrations like parties or events with live music. The Kabbalists lean heavily into the opportunity for self-improvement during this time. Each week and each day within each week has a prescribed sephira, or emanation, from the mystical tree of life. These sephirot include qualities such as love, humility, strength, wisdom, splendor, and understanding. As an example, tonight we move into counting the 34th day of the Omer, which brings the sephirot of Yesod and Hod, bonding in humility. Lest you think that this is only an ancient practice, there is in fact an app for that. My Omer app gives today's meditations on these sephirot as follows. Humility should not be a lonely experience. It ought to result in deep bonding and commitment. There is no stronger bond than one that comes out of humility. Does my humility separate me from others or bring us closer? Does my humility produce results, long-term results? Does it create an everlasting foundation upon which I and others can rely and build? Their prescribed exercise for the day is to use your humility to build something lasting. Another tradition is to study the first chapter of the Mishnah, our oral Torah. This is known as Pirkei Avot, the sayings of our fathers. If you have yet to delve into the Mishnah, I can vouch that Pirkei Avot is a truly meaningful yet accessible place to begin. Chances are that many of you here know passages from this text. I actually brought my volume of Pirkei Avot that was given to me on my bat mitzvah, and the rabbi who gave it to me said, these are kind of like the greatest hits. You want to know like the top line stuff? Delve right in. So I picked 2 of those greatest hits. I would love just a show of hands if it sounds familiar to you. Maybe you actually know some Pirkei Avot. He, Hillel, used to say, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? And if I am for myself alone, then what am I? And if not now, when? See, lots of nodding. He, Rabbi Tarfon, would say, it is not up to you to finish the work, yet you are not free to desist from it. Yeah? Ringing some bells maybe? Okay. Point being, there's always something there, and it may seem large, it may seem inaccessible, it may seem not for us. But if these, another phrase that he uses, pithy little sayings can open up some connection for you to the wisdom that's come before us, there's worth in that.
Can you
Yeah.
say the title again?
Yeah, Pirkei Avot. So Avot is fathers, Pirkei, sayings of our fathers. I'll bring it after, you can take a look, or I'll send it to you. Within Pirkei Avot, there are 6 chapters, so the tradition is to just study one of those chapters each week after the conclusion of Passover. And although this year's counting of the Omer is well on its way, I'm confident there's something, even just one thing, you can identify between now and Shavuot to improve upon. Whether through an app or an ancient text, there are many ways to elevate ourselves as we count upwards to Mount Sinai. Can you hear Ratzon? May it be God's will.
How about today?
So I looked this up. When do you count the Omer during Ma'ariv? There is no single answer.
No, they're machloket on it. Some of them
Okay.
say you can do it during the day.
Yep.
Some of them say in the evening after tzedakah Ma'ariv. They have the same of them, but I'm not talking about that. Today is the 33 days.
Currently at night, it'll be 34th.
Yeah, but at night you can't count the night for the day. So last night we count for today.
Yep.
Today is the 33 days.
Yep.
And it's actually Rabbi Akiva.
Right.
They had the Magifah. He had 40,000 students. I think 20,000 of them died.
24,000, yeah.
From 24, you're right, Magifah. And that stopped today. That's the reason you're allowed to get married, you're allowed to shave, you're allowed to cut hair and everything else.
Yeah, so what Elon is referring to is known as Lag BaOmer. It's a marcation within the counting of the Omer, occurring on the 33rd. Lag is a Lamed and Gimel, 30 and 3. So that's where we get Lag from. So like Tu Bishvat there are all these two, and Lag actually kind of just tell you what number we're at. So when we're at counting the 33rd day of the Omer, there's a what'd you call it? So Rabbi Akiva, as Elon was sharing, had many students. There was a plague that broke out, a disease, and over half perished. And the story goes that on Lag BaOmer, it stopped. And so many communities, either this is a brief intermission, if you will. I gave my boys haircuts, for example, and you can do those things. And some communities actually use this as, okay, we've made it through the worst of the morning, we can kind of start moving back into. So it's either a respite day or it's a time where your shift in morning practices can occur.
Well, the morning practices, it's a problem.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people mix it together. If the morning was only for Akiva, or the morning was for Sfirat Omer.
Right.
Because Sfirat Omer, it should not be sadness, it should be happiness. We're gonna get the Torah.
Yeah.
So if you go for Akiva, it's over. So why you continue 50 days?
Yeah.
Some people continue 50 days, some people don't. I don't. 33, that's it, I'm done.
And many communities have communal celebrations for Lag BaOmer centered around bonfires. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
tradition of bows and arrows thrown in there. There's some really fun, unique observances for that day. And like Ilan was saying, some people utilize that time to come out in the morning to prepare in a excited way for Shavuot, and others, it's just a brief pause, and then we get back to our morning practices. So lots to learn in counting the Omer. We turn now in our moments of thoughts to those who are in need of healing. We turn to God for a blessing of healing. If you or someone dear to you is in need of healing, I invite you to stand. And when I pause in the Hebrew or the English of the prayer, to share their names aloud together. Mishaberach Avotenu V'Imotenu Hu Yivarech V'Yirapeh Et HaCholim B'Neinu. V'yishlach lahem mehiram, refuah shlema, refuat hanefesh, u'refuat haguf. O God, who blessed our ancestors, bring the blessing of complete healing to all who suffer. Healing of body, mind, soul, and spirit. Endow those who tend to them with gentle hands and wise hearts. Strengthen those who love them with courage and patience. Comfort those at the end of their days with a sense of wholeness, and bless us all with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our source of healing. Misha Berach can be found in your red folder on, I don't actually have a page number, sorry. Page 8. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor Avraham Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mikor Avraham Avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We continue with our concluding prayers, Aleinu, which can be found on page. Yeah? No Aleinu.
You said first,
Omer first or Omer after?
Omer first.
I had it after. We can do it now. I invite Avi up to count the Omer before we turn to our concluding prayers.
And you have to so they don't want.
Yeah, I can do it in English.
Okay, so we're gonna do it in Hebrew and then he's gonna do it in English. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר.
I know.
Oh, this way, go ahead.
Okay. היום 34 יום שהם 4 שבועות ו6 ימים לעומר.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has sanctified us with your commandments and commanded us concerning the counting of the Omer. May the merciful one restore us to the service. Pause. Today is 34 days, which is 4 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. Continue with Aleinu.
Yeah.
On page 179, I have someone for the art. I can't remember. It was Gavin. Yes, thank you. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabech l'adon ha'ol, l'teitu l'yotzer breshit, shelo asam goyei haratzot, velo samanu mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kefol alonam, va'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נותן שמיים ויוסר הארץ ומושב דברו בשמיים ממעל ושכינת זו וגורם מרומי Eloheinu Eino, and Bedatayam, bedatayam, behashebota, elevaveta, ki Adonai hu Elohim, b'shamayim v'ima'alav, v'al-haaretz, mi tachat ikon. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'ne'emar v'hayadonai le'melech ha'aretz, v'yom ha'u yideh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. You may be seated. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled. It burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flame dances and our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more, and we are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race, religion, and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. If you are in a period of mourning, you can see me after for a private blessing in place of the mourner's cottage. And in place of saying their names aloud, since we will not be reciting Kaddish, just take a moment to reflect on the names of those who have come before us in our own congregation, in our families, in our neighborhoods. We offered our comfort as a community to all those who mourn among us. May God send comfort to all the bereaved, as together we say, Amen. From the holy to the mundane announcements. We are continuing Torah study virtually, but for those who have not joined, please do. It's at 10:30 tomorrow morning. You do not have to come prepared. We actually kind of talk about the Parsha, pick a section to read it together on the screen. I can share a link to an online resource. Safari, yes, if you don't have a commentary at home, you're not at a disadvantage. And usually some lively discussion, but certainly no pressure to read or contribute, you're welcome to absorb and just be with there in spirit on the screen. Afterwards, we will have our own egg downstairs, kiddush, and the like. And I just wanted to call attention to a time when we really need to make minyan in July. It's been requested that we do a Torah service that Saturday morning in July, second Saturday, which I don't have the date off the top of my head. And every person is important, certainly, and every one is counted among us so that we may read from the Torah together. And if anyone's interested in taking an aliyah to read, let me know. I'd be happy to go over that with you as well. Any other congregational announcements?
One thing, there'll be an announcement when we get a few more details. The unveiling of Sue Gordon's headstone will be August 24th. That's a Sunday at 1 p.m. There will be a gathering afterwards. The location is a little uncertain at this point. They're still getting that pulled together. So if you're able, please mark it on your calendars for August 24th.
And Deb will be here for that.
Yes.
We come to the end of our time together in this service, in this space. And I'm feeling as though we're missing something, a prayer for peace. I know there is one in our prayer book. Hopefully you can help me out with a page. I don't allow. Sure, let's do it.
And I belong to a congregation in California where we're gonna move. They've been doing Hatikvah since we have, which is Israel's national anthem, ever since the hostages were
I
taken.
appreciate the suggestion, and I will take you up on that. We can certainly make that happen. The suggestion was Hatikvah, which I do think is in our prayer book. If you give me a moment, I'll find it for us. For those who don't know. Page 193. Please rise. Kol baleva enima nefesh Yehudi homiya u'vatem Mizrach kadinina ayin lesion Sophia. Olada tikvatenu, hadatikva Adonai, li'otam choshi ve'artzenu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim. Li'otam choshi ve'artzenu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
We're not cute.
And you're
It was great.